Broadcasting live from the concealed courtyard on the plain of Kaladesh for possibly the second time, it's Tap Tap Concede. Hey everyone, I'm Cameron.
Hi, I'm Ben.
I'm Alex.
And we are here to talk to you about Magic cards. Before we get started though, I'd just like to thank the good people at Card Kingdom who sponsor this podcast. If you go to cardkingdom.com/LRR, that is our affiliate code. If you put that in, they know that we sent you. And we'll hopefully continue to endorse our podcast in the way that they are. I really enjoy their service. I order singles from them. Their shipping is fast, their customer service is excellent, and their brick and mortar stores are really a delight to go to. So if you're in Seattle, I highly recommend you check them out. And if you're ordering cards online, I suggest you consider them.
That's the thing that I hear nonstop about them is the most reoccurring thing I hear about Card Kingdom is people being like, yeah, you guys said it was fast, but it wasn't like I didn't expect that fast. And
Yeah.
it just like shows up.
Yeah. Well, it's like you place your order and then like 15 minutes later you're like, hey, all right, you get the email that it's shipped.
Oh.
Right? So I've had really positive experiences with them, and I recommend them.
Hey.
Also, this podcast is brought to you by our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. So if you enjoy this content, perhaps you would consider visiting our Patreon.
Patronize us.
Anyway, now that we have chilled hard, hustled hard, Alex, would you like to roll a die?
Good roll.
It's a 20.
Oh,
20!
Natural 20.
It's a big prize? What is it?
I have no idea.
We
This
have
is
been
all in
rolling
random order.
really high on
Yeah.
the past couple
Oh,
of
do we not have like
TTCs.
something super crazy special for Nat 20? Like
Actually, you know what? Nat 20.
Do we just get to
like,
choose?
We should just choose.
Where's our
we have
Portal 3
Eternal
Kingdoms
Masters?
booster?
do we
in
have a
there?
P3K booster?
No. You know what? Yeah.
What's the spiciest one in here?
James and Graham are both away.
Oh,
so
they
I'm just
are.
gonna
We can
fucking-
do
Yeah,
whatever
we can do whatever.
want.
We can just open this whole box. Welcome to
Yeah.
the Crack-a-Pack.
Yeah.
Original Meriden?
Ooh, that could be
Ooh.
that could be picante.
Oh, that'd
we
be-
also have Zendikar.
Ooh.
It's true. Oh, there's so many
There's
choices.
so many things
Yeah.
in here. Conspiracy too? What about that Yu-Gi-Oh deck?
Oh,
Eternal Masters?
wait, there's Eternal Masters?
Right here.
Oh, dude, let's rip that.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah. Natural
All right.
20.
Is this from anybody? Or?
Yeah, this is from Bradley at PAX Australia.
Thanks,
So,
Australia.
thank you very much, Bradley from PAX Australia. We are opening your pack today.
Dun, dun,
Because
dun.
there are no rules.
Because we actually rolled a PAX.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's-
PAX.
It's a PAX Die20. How neat. Okay. So, who here actually played Eternal Masters? Ben?
I've drafted it once.
Okay.
And-
I've drafted it a few times. I enjoyed the set a lot. It had some depth to it.
Yeah, it
I
was a
was
lot of
pretty
fun.
stoked for the reprints.
Actually, I got, I think my pick one was the disc.
Navinaral's disc.
Yeah.
Disc.
And that's instantly once
Is
you
it
pick that, you're like, oh,
Navinarals
I'm going to
or-
be that asshole.
Or Nevin Urals.
I always say Navinarals. I mean, you could probably say Larry Niven's disc, right?
I just say the disc, and then
Yeah.
that way.
Disc Niven's Day.
Yeah.
All right. So, first card, Fervent Cathar. This guy's good.
Okay, let's see if we can remember what these cards are reprinted from. So
This is
just
from
gotta be.
this is from Avacyn Restored, I think. It's a 2/1 hasty creature for 3.
Yep.
When it enters the battlefield, target creature can't block this turn.
Seems fine.
Yeah, I remember this being a totally fun aggro card.
He gets in.
Yeah. Next up, we have Raise the Alarm.
Hey!
Hey, 2/1 white soldier creature tokens at instant speed. 1 and a white. This is from
Mirrodin.
Mirrodin.
Yes,
Right.
it was
Really?
from original Mirrodin, and then it was reprinted
In like M15 or M14.
It was one of the
something
core
yeah.
sets.
But
It's real good.
yeah, surprise!
Surprise! Because like there's similar effects to this in goblins, but they're all sorceries.
Yeah,
This
like,
one's
having
like,
this at instant
pow!
is really, really strong.
Like end of turn 2 1/1s.
Yeah.
Fight.
Or surprise blockers.
Yeah.
Next up, Una's Grace. I like this card a lot. 2 and a blue, instant target player draws a card. It has Retrace, which means you may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a land card in addition to paying its other costs.
You can do that as many times as you want, because like it goes back into the graveyard.
God, where's did I even do? I had Ral Zarek's emblem up, and I was just like praying to draw more lands so I could continue casting this from the graveyard.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It's like
yeah.
trade a land for 2 draws.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good.
Retrace is actually one of my more favorite-ish mechanics. To be
Yeah.
honest, like one of my favorite because I really like to play like mono black hand attack kind of style decks.
So Raven's
Raven's
Crime.
Crime.
Raven's Crime, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Get 'em.
probably one of my more favorite
Yeah.
cards.
Raven's Crime also has like this niche presence in Gifts Ungiven
Does
packages.
it? Oh yeah, because you're just like,
Yeah, because you can do things like Raven's Crime, Life from the Loam,
or just like target yourself with it.
yeah,
If you need to throw something away. It's got great art too.
It is, yeah. It's like
it's a cool little card.
just a little bird stealing the thoughts
Oh,
of
my
a zombie
brain!
or a changeling.
It's an elf.
It's an elf. Oh, okay, yeah.
All right. Seal of Strength, 1 green enchantment. Sacrifice Seal of Strength. Target creature gets +3/+3
This was part
until
of a
end turn.
cycle. I don't know how much of it they printed in here, but it was all these like classic
Like effect.
like effects that were enchantments that with like threat of activation. So there's like Seal of Fire that was shock, but it sits on the table till you
yeah,
shoot
and,
it.
Wanna
and,
use
like
it.
the white seal was Disenchant, and the black one was Terror. I want to say.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Seal of Doom.
And the blue one was Unsummon.
Yeah, the Seal of Doom, the black one, was in Commander 2015, but it wasn't
Okay.
in Eternal Masters.
Next up, we have Deep Analysis, another just really good card. Whose colloquial name I'm not going to
Has
say.
an unfortunate nickname.
Yeah.
3 and a blue. Yeah.
3 and a blue sorcery. Target player draws 2 cards. Flash, and it has flashback for 1 and a blue and pay 3 life.
It's like
That's
one
really-
card that draws 4 cards.
Yeah, I remember
It's a
ripping
good
this in the finals of the last Eternal Masters draft I played, which was only a few weeks ago now. YJ was just like, credit was really low for this. We have this box of Eternal Masters.
And then
And he was-
suddenly everybody
Yeah, and
in
everyone
the
was like,
store.
yeah, all right, I got $40. Whatever, let's throw it down. And I ripped this turn 6 of a match.
Wow.
And I was like, draw 2 cards, flashback, draw 2 cards. I ripped 4 land, I lose.
Oh
That's dirty.
It was bad. It was a
really
real
dirty.
bad scene. It was
Yeah.
a hell.
That
It was no
sucks.
way to die. It was no way to die, man.
Wow.
I've died in a lot of ways in a lot of Magic games, but that one felt
like
bad.
that. 4
That
lands.
sucks. Man.
Gravedigger.
Classic.
3 and a black. When Gravedigger enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. He is a 2/2 zombie.
He's just a bread and butter card.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, seen print in a lot of sets.
But never really got the the like not like it never got really a redone artwork for it really.
Yeah.
I think this has been
Sometimes
for
you get it
quite a-
right the first time.
It's great.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that's the thing. Like I really enjoy it.
It's what I love about this artwork is for the longest time, the way his fingers in the foreground are sort of taped together.
It looks like he's holding a cup.
Yeah, I
of coffee.
thought that's what
I
he
thought
had.
he was just had a cup of coffee,
Yeah,
and I was like,
and like-
I was like, I like that. He's just like he's
Yeah.
he's on his
Like,
job.
casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also just the way the glint off the body's head, it makes it look a little like steam. So he's just like,
Oh, it
Or
is.
it's the
Yeah,
teapot?
it's still
Yeah.
attached to the body.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I swore forever that this guy was just holding.
I
a cup of
really
coffee.
thought he had a
Yeah.
cup of coffee as well.
I like
Wow.
that. The
There,
work.
there have actually been
Like a
other
little enamel
Gravediggers.
cup.
Oh, have there?
Oh yeah.
We
Okay.
got this guy.
Oh wow.
Oh,
from Odyssey.
Okay.
Yeah,
Way less casual.
Yeah.
that's very Iron Maiden.
There's Portal had one.
Whoa, that's.
I don't know
What's
who that
going on
guy
with
is.
him?
I don't know what's
He
happening.
kind of actually looks like he'd be part of like the Nantucket
Yeah.
Yeah.
tribe.
Oh yeah.
So,
That's.
All right.
but yeah, they wisely went back to the
I like
coffee drinking
Coffee
guy.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
like, clearly, that
I mean,
means-
I feel
Coffee
like
digger.
Gravedigger before I
Yeah.
had my
Yeah.
coffee in the morning too.
See, like when I make like a EDH deck or something like that, I generally like to after like I've assembled it and been like, this is good. I like to just make art proxies for everything. So
Right.
clearly, I need to get an art proxy for a Gravedigger with coffee.
I'm not saying it's a Gravedigger. Seismic Stomp.
Yeah.
Not super exciting, but hey, you will die to this card every once in a while. 1 in a red for a sorcery. Creatures without flying can't block this turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely sideboard
Yeah.
Just
Let's
board
say.
stall Alpha Strike with this.
Yeah, it's like that feeling when you finally stabilize, and they're like, Seismic Stomp,
Oh!
kill you. Monk Idealist. 2 and a white for a human monk cleric. When Monk Idealist enters the battlefield, return target enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. There was definitely like an enchantress deck
Yeah.
in this format because I think
Argothian Enchantress?
Well, Mesa Enchantress
was
is in this one.
uncommon.
Yeah.
Oh.
So things like Seal of Strength
Right, yeah.
right,
You just,
were powerfully relevant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, this was a really fun set to draft because they purposely put the archetypes in.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was great.
well, I mean,
right?
that's exactly how you design something like that. It's like if you were building a cube, you can curate like sub-themes that you want.
right.
Yeah, I mean, like this is not really the set for collecting cards at all. This is a
Yeah.
draft set, right? Like,
Well, I mean, most of the sets are designed to be drafted or something.
Yeah, like,
but
Wizards
they
had
also
to,
get
like-
to reprint a bunch of sweet stuff.
Wizards just had to navigate this really kind of like probably thankless
sorry.
task of balancing the needs of limited players with the needs of people who need reprints.
Yeah.
Right? And so you wind up with like sets like Eternal Masters that have some odd card selections that don't necessarily need reprints but are really sweet to play in a limited environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why do they reprint this garbage? It's like, because it's good and limited, and
Yeah.
this is a set that's made to be played, not just ripped for value.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Because I mean, if anything, then they would just be like, because construct is just like 90% just rares anyway,
Yeah.
right? So
Speaking of enchantments, Elephant Guide. It is a
Oh,
good
this is
aura
like-
for 2 and a green. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3. When enchanted creature dies, put a 3/3 green elephant creature token onto the
This
battlefield.
is like a proto totem armor.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Like, it doesn't save the creature, but you get a critter out of it.
this card's good.
yeah,
I like it.
yeah. This one was tricky to deal with. Next up, alt win conditions.
Yeah.
Did you say, Ben?
Wait, what?
Dream Twist. Target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Flashback, 1 and a blue. So you can play it twice, mill 6 cards. This is at common in this set, so picking up like 3 of these, 4 of these was a powerfully real clock.
Yep.
You did, and it did have millstone in it too. I think in here.
Yeah, there were a
man.
couple of mill conditions.
So it was very real. You could mill somebody in limited, and it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Next up, Glimmerpoint Stag.
Yeah.
2 white for an
From-
elk. It is a 3/3 with vigilance. When Glimmerpoint Stag enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step.
Flicker or something.
Yeah. Also, it's like you can hit their stuff with this. So if you want to flicker out like a land,
Yeah, or you could like flicker Gravedigger or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, either way, this is still
like
a
that.
3/3 vigilance for 4.
it's a neat card. I like this card. I remember trying to play this in standard in this weird like Venser deck I had.
Yeah, like the double white makes it a little weird,
Little awkward.
but
yeah.
It's a good effect.
yeah, no, I do
Yeah.
for sure.
What else you got?
Price of Progress.
Oh!
One
We were
red.
just talking about this card,
Holy
Alex.
moly. Okay, so
Yeah.
like how good was
How-
this in
how-
draft?
Probably
not great.
No.
But
How much damage has this done to you in Highlander?
oh, probably like 12.
Yeah.
Like this card in like in Highlander and actually just like constructed formats where it's legal is such a beating.
Yeah.
Alex and I were just talking about this card
Yeah.
yesterday.
It's one in a red. It deals damage to each player equal to twice the number of non-basics they control.
Yeah.
This is the card where you cast it and they start doing stuff like Wasteland my own land.
Yeah, just to like save,
save 4
or
damage,
even just crack your fetch to get a basic. Just so,
Like in,
you
in
save
mono red,
one.
this is most of the time just like 2 mana win the game.
Yeah.
Just like whammo.
Yeah.
like definitely not your first pick in this in a draft, but
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
it's a
there
great
were
card.
non-basics floating around because there were the cons block gain lands.
Yes.
At common, which were high picks. But you would maybe in draft you would get someone for 4 with this,
Yeah.
and maybe also do 4 to yourself.
I mean, on the off chance, like if you have this card, on the off chance you go against that one dude who's just scooping who's trying to go like domain or
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
then you're just like, hello. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I got a surprise for you. What else you got?
Him.
Love it.
Holy moly!
This is
Speaking of
spicy.
cards that are
Yeah,
good,
speaking of cards that are good,
Cards
this was
that are-
banned in its own Type 2 format, I want to say.
that doesn't surprise me. This card is not fair at all.
Yeah, this
It's-
Hymn to Torak, if you have not had the pleasure, is a black sorcery that reads target player discards 2 cards at random.
Just one word makes this card like insane.
It's
Yeah.
the random.
yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
random clause means it not only hits anything, it can hit your lands.
Yeah.
Like taking this on turn 2 and having them hit either your gas or 2 lands is just like
Backbreaking.
it's
Yeah.
so backbreaking.
And if you just like mold once,
yeah,
you're
then
down to
it's
like 3 or 4.
It's even worse.
Yeah.
You know, and like against a quickly accelerating hand where they're just like maybe like land mocks dork pass. You're like get the rest of your gas, and now you have no
Yeah.
game.
Oh,
anymore.
yeah. They played out like 3 cards.
Yeah,
on
if
turn
they have an
1.
explosive turn that needs one more turn to play out what's left in their hand, and you're just like,
yeah.
nope, later.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, I've just like upset people by playing like Hymn to Turak, and then up with what is it, Careless Whisper, the
Oh, Night's Whisper?
the one where you draw 2, pay 2, kind of a thing. So it's just like, all right,
You're
now
down
I'm
2, I'm up 2.
4.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
ugh.
And they're just like, well, okay, it's spicy.
This is a
Yeah,
good
no,
card.
this is a really good card.
Ooh.
It's our rare.
And I was going to say, Hymn to Torak, I believe, also is responsible for the general policy not to do random
Hand attack,
hand
yeah.
attack
Yeah.
anymore.
They've
Yeah.
done it like once or twice.
There
in
was
recent
the
sets.
what was the something
Cat?
to Emrakul
I
where it
don't
was
know.
1 in black with Delirium.
Right, and if it's delirium, it's random. Otherwise, it's normal.
Which is not as bad because then
Yeah.
you can't always cast it on turn 1.
But it was basically they realized how just because it's so demoralizing,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
just not fun.
It kind of seems like every once in a while, like they're trying something like new, or they're just like, okay, here's like like Thoughtseize or like Transgress the Mind or something like that. They're just like, oh. No, that didn't work out very well. Let's just go back to Mind Rot.
Yeah, there we go.
Mind Rot. There,
Everyone
let's put
loves
that in the
Mind
set.
Rot,
It's like 3 mana they get to pick.
Yeah.
But it's like it's an interesting aspect though, where it's even if the effect isn't that much worse. Like if you only have 2 cards in your hand, it doesn't matter which one they do or whatever. But somehow it's much more demoralizing, and so it's less fun to play. And so obviously they want to make
And
sure.
also, like, random discard clauses have, like, this additional step where you've got to find some way of randomizing.
Right,
generating
that's always
which
a pain,
card at
yeah.
random it is. So you're like, I have 7 cards in hand, so roll a die 8 and reroll
Yeah.
8s, I guess.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
I mean,
it's,
I guess
it's kind of a pain in the dick.
The one thing with hand attack is I don't think, is there any instant speed hand attack?
Yep.
Really? Is
Occasionally,
there? Yeah.
but
Very
it's very
rarely,
expensive.
yeah,
Like
it's-
Mardu Charm recently was instant
Right.
speed hand attack.
Right, yeah. But yeah, most of it's at like sorcery.
Call
so,
against
I mean,
command. I have occasionally, like, actually, I blew somebody out because they went, like, end of turn mystical tutor or something, put something on their library. I was like, draw a step after you draw a card, pitch it. Because their hand was empty. It was like,
Right. That sucks.
also smash your stuff.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
So our rare for this pack, unexpectedly absent.
This
It is shockingly good removal in Eternal formats.
it's this sees play in Highlander. I think it's better in aggressive decks because it's like 2 mana plow under. You choose the depth.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense,
Well, for 2 mana, you grip tide them. Right.
but it's a permanent.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I'm really looking forward to doing this in response to a fetch land being
Yup.
cracked.
Just like put it on top and then it disappears.
Yeah, and then
But, like,
shuffle it away.
You know, because it hits any permanent, like just white, make a problem go,
Go
away,
away.
for a while.
Yeah.
Sometimes, a turn or 2 is all you need. It's good. Play this
Yeah.
card. It's also like inexpensive. So,
Yeah, like this is like a $2 card, I think.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, it can be like, I mean, it costs twice as much as Path or
But it-
Swords.
yeah.
But it does the job.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I do like the
card.
idea of like using it to not only in response to somebody cracking a fetch, but once you have activated it, that stops them from cracking a fetch for however many turns it takes for them to get back down to the card
Yeah.
they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, fair,
Damn it.
actually.
Living the dream.
Yeah. And then, because all packs of Eternal Masters come with a premium card, a foil, we got Pyroblast.
Sure.
Oh,
Flip this one to a Legacy player, to a Miracles player.
Actually-
This is why Miracles runs Volcanic Island, right?
I wonder what that one's worth because like
This might actually be worth.
now I'm curious.
Pyroblast, 1 red instant. Choose 1, counter target spell if it's blue.
I got it.
Destroy target permanent if it's blue.
Yep.
So-
Weirdly, there's like an academic difference between Pyroblast and
Red
Red
Elemental
Elemental
Blast?
Blast.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
It's interesting. We
You
had
can cast Red Elemental Blast without a target, I think. Or there's
Yeah.
some weird kind of like...
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
the
there's like...
difference. If it's difference between one of them casts it and then checks, and one so it's
One
whether
checks, then casts?
because sometimes targeting like if there's like a phantasm or something, targeting can be relevant.
Yeah.
like this is a
Or
good-
or if like somebody messed with it's like in response somebody changes the color of the thing
Yeah.
or something weird like that.
like obviously this is like it's a great card. It's just like looking at it like if we're in draft mode right now, if we look at like the pack, we got 2. We had like Una's and the Mill
Dream Twist.
Dream Twist in this whole pack. So it's like, all right, so I mean nothing really scary
Yeah.
like blue wise
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
a thing
yeah.
in here, but
But like a red counterspell.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's niche, but it's good.
so what's
So
our
yeah,
first
that's
pick?
good.
I liked him. to
Him
be
is
honest.
really good.
Yeah. Not a lot else of like in
I
black
mean,
in this deck or in the
Like the
pack.
Elephant
true.
Guide is actually a very strong card in draft.
But like, I don't think him's gonna wheel.
Unexpectedly absent, like removal is usually useful, but there's not as many ways to just like permanently get rid of something with unexpectedly absent as there is in constructed. Yeah. Also,
Him or
like
the Stag, I guess. Stag's
if
pretty
you
good.
take the him, you're cutting black in the pack, except for the Gravedigger, which is not a high pick generally.
Oh, who knows what's
But there
in
is
back,
also the Monk Idealist, right?
True.
The Monk like.
and there's a
Elephant-
lot of enchantment in this.
Elephant
pack,
Guide
too.
might be really solid here. I don't know though. This is an interesting pack because there are good cards here, but none of them is like.
Cam, it's yesterday's draft all over again.
Yeah. No. Never again.
Never again.
Never ever again.
All
So
right.
yeah, okay, interesting.
What,
Some
what did we
interesting choices.
what did we find out about what can you flip the foil
Pyroblast
for?
It was looking about between sort of $12 and $15.
Oh really? It's
Well-
very
Very good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bear,
We
bear,
just-
bear.
we
We
just
got
our
our pack price back.
Yay.
All right. So thank you very much, Bradley from PAX Aus.
Get the sleeve.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it was a fun. Like as you can see, like there's just so many ways you can really go with EMN. It was
Yeah,
it was great.
no, it was a set where it had like there was a lot of complexity to the
Yeah.
cards in some situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the cards that were not complex were just usually like just like karate chop to the side of the neck.
Yeah, I ended up going like a blue-black control shell, but I pulled so many flyers out of blue. It was like it was
Yeah,
nuts,
well,
right?
because you
Like,
could kind of like do the Warden of Evos Isle deck.
Yeah.
Where you're just like playing. Warden of Evos Isle was like this 3-drop blue flyer. I think it was a 2/3 that discounted the cost of all flyers.
Yes,
And then you
yeah.
could also do like Peregrine Drake,
Yeah.
which was at common, and you're just like raining Peregrine Drakes and untapping all your land.
No, it was great. I think, and the card that actually was surprisingly prevalent for me in my matches was I was like, I never like using them, but the Black Hondu.
Oh,
I would-
Honden?
Yeah.
No, you just
Honden.
Honden control.
Yeah, and I just like I just had the black one. I think I might have had 2 copies of it, but I think I only ran 1. But yeah, as soon as you put down
Yeah, because
Nicers,
they're
it's just like,
legendary,
it crippled a lot of people. Like,
Yeah, well, also, like, I remember the blue Honden was this real double-edged sword, right? Because, like, drawing cards at the beginning of your upkeep, or, drawing extra cards is great. And then you're like, I have 4 cards left in my library.
I need to get rid of my own enchantment. Like,
Yeah, blue
You'll-
Honden is like, we all know what it's like to die to Phyrexian Arena.
Yeah.
This is a novel
Yeah.
way of dying to Phyrexian Arena.
Phyrexian Arena has 2 ways to kill you.
Yeah. Anyway, so
that was
I
it.
think we're going to move on to the next segment, which we were going to talk about a deck that Ben and I have been talking about in Standard, and that Ben has actually brewed up.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this deck, to be
Yeah.
honest.
So why don't you start us off, Ben?
Sure. Okay. We were kind of talking about the Aether Revolt standard, and especially with like the bannings and whatnot. It is very uncharted territory in a lot of ways. I think a lot of things are going to shift.
Everything
in
that's
this.
down is up again.
Yeah, right. Like I mean, so you're not going to see those Thopters, or not the Thopters, the Smuggler's Copter, or Emrakul, or the Reflector Mages. So one thing that we were really interested in was an Aristocrats style deck.
Right. So this is, I love Aristocrats. I think it's a great, like, I'm not usually big on creature strategies, but Aristocrats decks are like really synergistic and.
Yeah, it's this
Lots of
thing does
moving
this
parts.
thing, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the fun thing. I mean, you're kind of playing a game almost with yourself in the way that you're going to make these things happen. So yeah, I brewed up a little list for us, and there's obviously a lot of different ways this can go.
I know Saffron Olive posted a Black White's Aristocrats list.
Oh, okay, cool.
On MTG Goldfish, and it ran a lot of things like Archangel of Invention and Aetherborn Weaponsmith, which was just like 3 bodies for 3 mana.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we're very similar on it. So I wonder.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how much because I tried to do this completely on my own kind of situation,
absolutely, yeah.
and like I'm curious to see how mine syncs up with other people's. So and maybe too, like another reason we wanted to sort of talk about it today was if you're just sort of being like. Standard seems like a lot of fun now, and the FNM promos are getting really good now too.
There's like Aether Hub.
Aether Hub
in
is the
June,
new one, yeah.
And Unlicensed Disintegration in May.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about your Noose Constrictors anymore.
Yeah. Man, the Noose Constrictor seemed like it would have been such a rad card.
The art was not that great. That was the
yeah.
thing. It looked sort
But it
of
was
like
Snack.
yeah, it
Snack.
just looked like someone went into like Cinema 4D a little bit. And was like, I model Snack.
Here is
No
Snack.
step on Snack Plus.
No step plus.
All right. So okay.
Oh, and also, if you're not familiar with an Aristocrats
Yes.
deck, is a creature-based synergistic deck that is based on sacrificing your own creatures to your other creatures to generate advantage, and usually it plays a lot of things like the deck name originated in I want to say Innistrad Return to Ravnica Standard, where it was based around Cartel Aristocrat and Falconwrath Aristocrat, which were both sack outlets. They both had rules text that was sacrifice a creature, get a thing. And they also played a card called Blood Artist, which was whenever a creature dies, you drain 1.
Yeah.
So that is kind of like the 3 moving parts in Aristocrats decks are the Aristocrats themselves, which are the sack outlets, the Blood Artist analogs that are the things that get mileage when a creature dies, and then the sacrificed creatures, which hopefully do things like put other creatures into play.
Yeah.
I.e. things like Doomed Traveler, I don't know, like Mirror Sire. There's the green drone from Shadows over Battle for Zendikar.
Yeah.
That puts an Eldrazi Scion into play when it dies. Those kinds of things.
Yeah. So I mean, really, the idea of bringing Aristocrats back to Standard spawned as soon as Zulaport Cutthroat was made, because it is a strictly better Blood Artist.
It's not strictly better.
No? Is it
No,
not?
because Blood Artist triggers off any creature dying.
Yeah.
Oh, right, this
Zulaport
is off
Cutthroat
of
only
yours. Yes.
Yeah, no,
True.
Cutthroat
True.
is better in that it has 1 power, but it only triggers off your own creatures.
Okay, yes, no, then it is not better, I would say. But yeah,
Yeah,
Anyways.
because Blood Artists put you in this terrible position where blocking something also hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay, let's, I'll dive into it a little bit. So we're going to start with our spells package here. So obviously, just right off the bat, we're going to be running 3 Fatal Push.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're in black.
So just I guess to give the disclaimer, this is a Orzhov, a white black deck. But there is, I'll talk a little bit about some other things maybe that you can also.
Now, is there a reason to not play 4?
The reason to not play 4 is mainly just because we have a lot, like, 3 felt like it was in the right area without, because like I'm running 26 creatures.
Okay.
in this. It's very creature heavy in the way, and I mean there's just a lot of other moving parts for it.
Okay.
Because I mean on top of the 3 Fatal Push, we're also running 2 Grasp of Darkness
Okay.
in there too. So you've got right there. There's the 5 instant speed removal things you've got going on, and Grasp of Darkness hits most things.
Right. Before the show, we were talking, and the only like creature that's really dodging both of these spells is Ishkanah,
Is Ishkanah,
which is a problem.
It is, yeah. So I mean, we've got some sideboard stuff that we can talk about later to deal with the Golgari Delirium deck. But yeah, like this is going to hit most things in the format. One thing that I sort of had in my mind because literally every single site, every single person I think in the standard Magic community is talking about is this the Saheeli
Copycat.
Right,
copycat
yes.
deck, right?
Right.
So this is going to get rid of the Sovereign
Yeah,
for you.
You absolutely need ways to interact with that combo at instant speed.
Yeah, like despite how janky and memey this deck is obviously becoming, it is very real and people are going to run it.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, so you either need some way to kill Saheeli after the with the trigger on the stack, or you need some way to interact with the Felidar.
Yeah.
So this does that.
Yeah, I mean, like, and with Fatal Push as well, this deck revolves around proccing Revolt almost. You know, with
Okay,
the amount of sack outlets and stuff you're going to do in a Aristocrats deck, you're probably always going to get Revolt going on. So your Fatal Push can also deal with Felidar Guardians as well.
Okay.
But also, if instead you want to maybe deal with Saheeli, I've got 2 copies of Ruinous Path in here.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So then that way you've got just your instant. Is it instant? Yeah.
I thought Ruinous Path was sorcery.
Is it?
It could be. Yeah, sorcery, sorry. So, but I mean, this is your way of dealing with Planeswalkers. I think Planeswalkers are going to be back a little bit more.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Copter's gone.
yeah, because Chad was around.
Yeah.
Liliana's around.
Yeah.
Saheeli is now back, or Saheeli is now showing up.
Yeah, this one was a little bit tough, in that I was considering instead running to the Slaughter,
Oh, okay.
just because you're gonna get, like I said, you're gonna get Revolt triggers.
Right.
Right. So more often than not, you're gonna make somebody sack both a Planeswalker and a creature with this kind of a thing, right? And it's
Right.
an
You need
instant speed.
Delirium off this, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Delirium. Sorry. So either way, I also think getting Delirium would be quite easy
Yeah.
with an Aristocrats deck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like it's a tough. You could honestly go either way on this. I kind of just like Ruinous Path just because you get to choose kind
Yeah.
of scenario.
No,
but
this is an interesting inclusion.
yeah, it can honestly go either way on it. I really like Ruinous Path. It's a solid card.
I was just gonna say just a quick note for people. The link to the tapped out deck list for this will be in the description.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, thanks. It's probably going to adjust a little bit, but yeah, this is something we just sort of whipped up together. It's also really my first ever deck tech in front of an audience, so go easy on me, friends.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Yeah, so I mean I just like Ruinous Path. Maybe in those super grindy games you'll get an Awaken 4 off of it.
Hey,
maybe
you
that's
can
what you
eat.
need. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Feed your 8 or your 7 drop land now into the coil. Now we're going into some of the newer cards. SRAM's Expertise. I got 4 copies of SRAM's
Okay.
Expertise. This card is just
Bodies and bodies
great.
and bodies and
This
bodies
is
and
exactly
bodies
what
and
you want
bodies
in this
and
deck.
bodies.
Yeah.
I think there are only there are 3 creatures that I'm running 2 ofs of each that will not be hit by this. But other than that, I think literally every single spell in this deck you can hit with the second clause of SRAM's Expertise.
Tasty.
So it feels really good. So this wasn't like as soon as this was printed and we had like the Aristocrats like my thing involved. I'm like, yes, this is going straight into the deck. So yeah, it's just a good card. I love it. It's amazing. Now we're going into our enchantments here. I got ×2 of Hidden Stockpile. This was probably the hardest one. I really wanted to put 4 But like the thing is,
You want to have one of these, don't you?
yeah, like. I mean, getting multiple revolt triggers off of this would be gnarly. Like getting 4 servos at the end of on your end step every turn would be pretty cool. But
I mean, it's only ever going to make one per turn.
Yeah, but if you have multiple
if you have
copies-
multiple copies, right?
Oh, I see.
You're
what you
getting
mean.
multiple things of it, right? I mean, you only need one hidden stockpile out to do the sack creature, right? Because you don't tap this enchantment or anything, right? But it's one of those things that it's like it's good, and it'll definitely help you in the more grindier matches. But we've got enough. I've got enough. Servo creation just in the creatures package
Right.
that I don't think you need to rely on hidden stockpile. That being said, if you're kind of going against, like I said, maybe a very board stally sort of
Right.
matchup, this card may be the thing that you need to finally get
Dig your
through,
way
right?
out. Right,
To just even if you need to have like a couple copies of this, so you can for sure have it on the field and just try and reoccur a servo and sack it and just do like 1 damage at a time with Zillaport just to slowly try and get there. You know, you might run into that really grindy match. So I did throw a couple in the sideboard, which again I'll talk about later. But hidden stockpile, just interesting. It seems like a very big, easy auto include into the deck, and the scry by itself, it just feels good. Either way, so that's your spell package. That would be 13 non-creature spells.
Okay.
Pretty simple. I mean, like I said, Aristocrats formats I find kind of revolve around the creature package. So let's go into the spicy stuff. I've got 2 copies of Angel of Invention.
Yep.
Now the thing that I think we pretty much have established is when you're fabricating in this deck, you're like 99.9% of the time just going to make servos.
Yes.
You're just it's going to be really tempting to make that 4/3 flying vigilance lifelink angel.
Yeah,
but just do the fabricate. I mean, having even just 2/2/2 servos can feel pretty good, and you're gonna want the servos. Trust me.
Also, the Anthem effect I think has a synergy also in this deck with another card.
Yes. It's gonna be spicy. This deck has a bunch of things. It has, and for some people who get really excited by infinite combos, this has got an infinite combo in it.
What?
Nice. Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So this deck's got a little bit of everything in it. I'm kind of
Something for everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, Angel of Invention, 2 copies. It's just a good card. It's a very cheap mythic too. That was the thing. I'll give you the price list on this afterwards. But this is a relatively budget for standard deck, which is good. So I've got. You're probably going to see where I'm going with this. I've got ×2 copies of Eldrazi Displacer.
Oh.
This card is going to be your basically how you're going to dump out a lot of servos.
Okay.
Right. You're just going to flicker. You can flicker your own stuff. So something on even like on your Angel of Invention, or I've got some Weaponcraft Enthusiasts.
Okay.
In here. I just like this card for the fact that you very well might want to start flickering your stuff so you can just keep that servo production going.
Okay.
And again, why I'm only running 2 of hidden stockpile.
Okay.
Because like I said, it's very clear we're gonna have no problem making a ton of servos in this.
Okay.
I'm just gonna actually correct myself too. Sorry, not in this specific one. It doesn't have the infinite combo, but I will tell you how you can adjust this to make an infinite combo very easily. All right. After that, we've got 2 copies of Herald of Anguish. Here's your beefcake. Sometimes you just want a 5/5 flying demon. I believe that's what he is.
All right. Yeah, and this guy is a 7-drop, but he has improvise. Right?
So right away, there's a very good chance that you're getting say like a Weaponcraft Enthusiast out on turn 3. Pooping out like 2 servos or something like that, and just like making this super cheap. You could potentially cast this thing like on turn like 3 or 4 if you're really lucky.
Okay.
It's a good card. You're getting that discard outlet going on your opponent, as well as you can stack an artifact to give something -2/-2.
Yeah.
So your servos basically become little tiny bombs that you can drop on your opponent.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
This wasn't in my original list, but when I was kind of being like, "Hey, take a look at this. What do you guys think?" Everyone's like, "You got to get Herald of Anguish in here." It's just turning your servos, if you want to, into mana rocks as well.
Yeah.
Just feels good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and I mean, yeah, this card just seems nuts, and this would actually probably be the most expensive card in the deck. I think they're like $15 a piece.
Oh, no kidding.
But we're only running 2 of them.
Okay.
So that's not too bad.
I like that there aren't actually any artifact cards in the deck, but you're creating so many servos that it actually turns out that you end up with a ton of artifacts anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing too, right? Like you think back to like Saram's expertise, right? Like it's a 4-drop and you're putting out 3 servos, but effectively that's also giving you 3 mana towards an improvised card too, right? Like it's kind of nice in the way that things can sort of synergize with each other. All right, after that we got the card that I know Cam was probably most excited for. I've got 2 copies of Marionette Master.
Yay.
This card is a win condition. I mean, Herald of Anguish was a win condition as well, but this card will probably be one of the main ways that you can also really win.
Yeah, and I think this is an interesting card in this deck because it has a really compelling reason not to make the servos.
Yes. Right, because I mean, you might want to. So yeah, kind of. I guess coming back to it, this is probably the card that you may just want to fab on itself. But again, we also have things like the Eldrazi Displacer, right?
Right.
So this thing, if you're flickering this thing, making like three servos for 3 mana, kind of a thing, and just keep like recurring itself. This thing can just make a lot of servos, as well as also if you want. And then once you feel like you're like, okay, I've got 12 of these things.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna make this a 4/6. Then yeah, you kind of, and then like you were saying, coupled with the Anthem effect from the Angel.
Yeah.
This card can do a lot of work for you.
Yeah.
100%. And it also makes it so like if you're up against that maybe the aggro where someone's like kind of just swinging in, doesn't really care about killing your servos or anything like that, this will make them think twice about it for sure. So yeah. After that, we've got another big part of the deck, probably one of the keystones of it. I got 4 copies of Syndicate Trafficker.
I like this guy a lot.
Yeah, he's just good, and he's your 2-drop, right? Like I mean, in this format, it's kind of tough. 3/1s are not what they would normally be, I guess, especially when you got things like even just something like Druid of the Cowl in this, right? Like this thing can get beat out just on its flat stats, like disregarding the text, can get beat out by a Mana Dork, which sucks. However, the sack artifact to put the 1/1 counter on it and give it indestructible is nuts in this deck.
Yeah.
This card can get so out of hand, and all you ever have to do to keep it safe is just keep that 1 mana up.
Yeah, 1 generic mana.
One generic mana to do anything, right? Like this card is again another win condition for you. It's nuts in the way that it'll do. And again too, like maybe there's going to be those ones because Aether Revolt by itself is a very 3-drop heavy format, I found. So it's like this, just if you're on the play, turn 2 Syndicate Trafficker can be really, really handy for you, I think.
Right.
Scooting on, I've got 3 copies of Vengeful Rebel. This one is in here because, like I said, you're going to be triggering Revolt all the time.
Okay.
So, and this is again just another removal spell in a lot of ways.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, because you're dropping this guy in. Generally, you're going to get that -3/-3 giving out, right? And this is also pretty gnarly with Eldrazi Displacer.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
thing is gross with Eldrazi Displacer.
Oh, because it counts itself.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's a beautiful thing to trigger Revolt on the card that you're that you're triggering
Oh
Revolt
god.
on.
So like on turn 6, you could play Vengeful Rebel.
Yeah.
You know, if you've had some kind of like revolt effect, -3/-3 Ishkana, then flicker it.
And kill. Yeah, so there
Yeah.
you go. There's again, like, it's not to say. Basically, when we were saying this, like this deck might have trouble against Ishkana, is just because there's no one card that just goes boom by Ishkana.
Right.
Right. I guess except for Ruinous Path, but. This this guy could easily just go boop boop. Okay, bye, Big
Yeah.
Mama Spider. Like Vengeful Rebel, the moment like even it's just good in most formats. Or at least in standard and draft. Like I love this card. It's
Yeah.
and I mean it's effectively a not as maybe it's a I don't know. It's stuff. It's probably not as good as like Merciless Executioner or. The marauding.
I don't
Fleshbag
know,
Marauder?
man.
Fleshbag
Because like
Marauder?
those two, the one you described, they eat it.
I guess they
but-
sack. Too.
So they don't get to choose. But like this one is less expensive than
Skin Render.
yeah, Skin Render,
And you can control
and you can
its
control it
removal
because
clause.
like it won't ever hit itself.
Yeah.
That having been said, you know, getting it set up is a little bit more of work, but
in
like
this-
we're looking forward to testing this one in Highlander because we have fetches. I'm looking forward to playing this guy with Undiscovered Paradise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you bounce it every turn, and then you just have Revolt up like every turn. So
Yeah, but yeah, like this one is not exactly in the Aristocrats style, but it's too good to pass up in the way that this deck functions.
well, I mean, it's got the synergy where like Revolt triggers off of
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I
Aristocrats,
think it would be, if this card said Morbid instead of Revolt, I think it would
Yeah.
much more immediately
But it sort of
have sprung
does
to mind.
It,
Yeah.
it sort
as
of
an
does say
Aristocrats
morbid.
card. But yeah,
But
Revolt
again-
is the Aristocrat strategy activates Revolt.
Yeah, I mean, and
Very
in
easily.
a lot of ways too, this is again just like it's another kind of control-y spell for you. And the 3/2 is nothing to shake a stick at either.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's a fine spell on its own.
But by the way, I love the reminder text for Revolt, or not the reminder, but the Oracle like ruling text
Right.
for Revolt on the Gatherer pages. It's Revolt abilities don't care why the permanent left the battlefield, who caused it to move or where it moved to. They're equally satisfied by an artifact you sacrificed to pay a cost, a creature you controlled that was destroyed by murder, or an enchantment that you returned to your hand with leaving the dust.
Yeah,
It's a very sort
Revolt
of
don't care.
conversational
I love
tone.
it.
It's like
Yes,
vengeful rebel don't
Yeah.
care why he's
Yeah.
revolting. He's just revolting.
Yeah, what you got?
I think the rules judges are just trying to role play a little bit more to
Yeah.
get it flavor. All right, moving along, we've got 4 copies of Weaponcraft Enthusiast. He's kind of he's your bread and butter.
Yeah, 3
love
bodies for 3 mana.
Yeah, he's great, and again too, he's another decent target to flicker with Eldrazi Displacer.
I
Just
really like the Eldrazi Displacer in this deck. That's not somewhere I would have gone with it.
yeah, it's fun. You could make a argument to put more than 2 copies of that thing in there. It's
Well, I
it's
mean,
a
like,
good
the
card.
only problem with Displacer is generating the colorless mana.
Which we have a good way to do so.
Okay,
I'm-
excellent.
I'm excited to let you know about that one too.
So like with Shram's expertise, you Shram, get 3 servos,
And
do
then-
this, and you get the guy and another 2 servos.
Yeah, that's
so
a-
you
So
can,
you're talking 4 mana for 6
bodies.
bodies and 5 power.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's good. Like
Yeah.
SRAM's expertise, the moment it came out, I was like, yep, in.
Yeah,
Kind of
so, like,
thing.
if you, like, I'm going to guess that Yaheni's in here, or
the Yaheni himself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or her,
Themself?
Themself? Yes.
Themself.
Yes, sorry.
so, like, Yaheni, Zulaport Cutthroat, SRAM's expertise into Weaponcraft Enthusiast. Just
yeah. It's good. Which right next, I got 3 copies of Yaheni.
I like this card a lot. This card is, it looks good on paper, and in my experience playing with it, it gets better.
Yeah, so this card is nuts. Whenever it comes to a legendary creature, I'm always like, how many do I run? Right? Like playset is always too much in my opinion.
Right.
I guess 2 seems like not enough because you want them showing up.
Well, and also with a card that's as difficult to remove as Yaheni.
yeah, right. So I've got 3 copies of it. It's just good. It's a solid play, and very like most of the win con-esque cards that are in here, quite difficult to get rid of. Like Gehenny and the Syndicate Trafficker, like they're unless you're playing against someone who's using like bounce spells or something like that, you're probably not going to get to destroy them as often, right? Because you're generally always going to have some sort of like a servo or something on the field. So just being like, all right, now I sacked that one servo. Gehenny's indestructible.
Yeah.
I love that both of our big Aetherborn folk have the indestructible clause on it. It feels pretty good.
Yeah.
And then and then finally, the last creature, we got 4 copies, obviously, of Zulaport Cutthroat.
Okay.
So that's our creature package. That's 26 creatures there.
I'm actually kind of surprised we're not running Ballista, Walking Ballista in this.
Walking Ballista was the one card that I was having so much trouble deciding if I wanted to run it.
Well, because it's also quite expensive right now.
It is. It's like a $20 card. This is kind of a more budgety deck. If you were to run Walking Ballista, I mean, I could see an argument to maybe take out something like maybe the Herald of Anguish or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Herald of Anguish is the only one that doesn't super duper synergize with the whole deck.
Yeah, like my argument for walking. I'm sorry, this is like
No,
here's
absolutely.
what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, no.
My argument for Walking Ballista is that it's like for 2 mana you can one someone, right? Like just go to the dome, and then it dies, triggering a whole bunch of like abilities across your table, and then it puts 2 creature types in your graveyard to push you further towards Delirium.
Yeah.
And it activates Revolt kind of for free at instant speed.
Yeah, like
when you need it.
It's the thing that I kind of want to stress while we're doing this one is this is the way you should build the deck.
Right.
This is a primer for being like, here are some of like the best cards you could probably put in here for an Aristocrats style deck, I guess. So yeah, Walking Ballista, definitely great. Definitely expensive.
Yeah, because that's legitimate.
It's one of those cards that it's like, if you're gonna run it, you probably want a play set, and that's $80.
which basically doubles the cost of the deck.
Right?
Now.
Yeah. So
it's actually, this is an interesting point that I've thought about, for when with Standard especially, is that, so you're like, okay, Walking Ballista is good. I like it. Is it why shouldn't you say, for instance, well, I got 4 Syndicate Traffickers, 4 Zulaport Cutthroats. What if I drop down to 3 of those and put in my 1 Walking Ballista, just so I can get him in there?
I mean, you absolutely could. I would not cut Zulaport Cutthroat because he's very like
right,
but
critical to the deck.
I mean, I guess this idea of sort of like, I guess hedging your bets, whether that's whether it's better to like be. It's like, no, we're not gonna split our thing. We're gonna go 4 of. We're gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
or whether it's like, well, this one's good, but this one's also good, so we'll do 2 of each. Like, is it better to really commit?
I mean, you can, like, in that way, you're kind of you're giving yourself so many different ways to win, I think. So it's one of those things where it's like, do you want variety or do you want consistency?
Right. Well, and I've also seen a lot of Standard decks that do run 1-ofs and 2-ofs, but those are almost invariably blue decks that have ways of digging for those singleton cards.
Yeah.
And ways of recurring them from their graveyards.
I think either way, we're going to see a lot of Walking Ballistic, because for some people too, it's your new hanger back.
Yeah, it's just a good card that goes into any deck. And I've been playing with this card in Limited a lot, and it is miserable to play against.
Yep,
like
can confirm.
It looks good on paper. You're like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, like I can see situations where this will just like do a couple of damage, and it's better than you think. It's better than you think.
Because I mean, realistically,
no matter how good you think it is, it's better.
It's better.
I mean, it's basically especially in Limited, it's essentially everything that you want. It's got the flexibility. Its downside is that it's slow, but in Limited, that's less of a deal.
And of all things too, just remember that literally every artifact in this set is also a mana rock for improvise, right? Like, on top of everything, like you can also tap them for improvise. Like
And
it
this
does
thing
so
still
much.
does damage while it's tapped for improvise.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You can still remove those counters at instant speed. Like it's just,
Anyway, yeah.
yeah, definitely.
I'm sorry, I kind of
No.
freaked that out, but
Like
yeah.
that's the thing. That's what I want to let you like definitely mold this in the way, and we're going to talk about a different way you can also build it as well.
Okay, yeah, totally.
So I'll just go through the lands real quick because this was a thing. Because remember, we need to generate that one for sure generic mana to proc Eldrazi. So I've got 4 obviously of Concealed Courtyard. It's our dual land, and it's the auto include. I got 4 planes in here. I got 2. Sorry, I guess you probably don't need to bring up planes. I've got 2 Shambling Vents.
Okay, yeah.
Just like it's I think 2 is the exact amount, and I mean if you really look at the list, there is not an immense amount of white, but the Angel of Invention is double white, so you need to sort of hedge your bets on there. Then I've got 3 Spire of Industries. You're never not gonna be able to get that that any mana. I mean, you're paying the 1 life, but again, this one is also important too because you can generate generic mana off of it, right? And this again probably like what I don't know what this one's sitting at. It's it's like $4 right now per, which is fine for a rare land, all things considered.
Out of curiosity, does Aether Hub generate colorless?
Aether Hub does, right?
Okay.
So I mean you could go either way.
We don't have a lot of ways to generate energy.
Energy. We have 0 ways to generate energy, right? So, so yeah, like I mean, you could if you need maybe a little bit. It's not even budget actually. I think Aether Hub was almost like $3 or $4 right now too, or something like that.
I mean, last time I checked, I think it was like 6 or 7.
Yeah. So Spire of Industry is the way I'm going there. And then
that
I've
sounds
got
correct.
6 Swamps. That's where because again this
A lot
deck,
of double black.
Yeah, this is just a very black heavy deck. And then the spicy thing that I could not do because we still need a couple more generic mana increases. I got 2 Westvale Abbeys in here.
Yeah.
2 Westvale Abbeys.
I was waiting for this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the deck for this card to be put in. And hey, maybe you just want some clerics on there.
Well, yeah, I love this card. Like hard to interact with, and like
This card.
turn 5 or turn
This card.
6. Right, Westvale Abbey, sack my board, Ormondal you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's the perfect deck for it to go into. I had to when I was making this, I'm just like, man, I really want 4 copies of this in here. But two seems like the right amount because again, like you. As much as you want to, if you're really thinking like you want to go maybe a bit bigger into Ormondal land, you could maybe cut 1 Spire and put in a 3rd copy of the Abbey.
But like that Shram weapon crafter enthusiast, you're there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, brief aside, like, both myself and Alistair have been quite impressed with this card in Highlander, like, for similar reasons. Like, he plays the long grindy game where you can just eventually actually just get it to make enough clerics on its own, and then I just play a lot of creature tokens incidentally, and sometimes I'll just play this and be like, I have 5 creatures.
I think I'd
Get
rather
you.
have an Ormondal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, so we're running 21 land in here. The curve is not that high.
Also, the threat of activation on Westvale Abbey is really, like, quite psychologically
Man, I
powerful,
felt
right?
so bad. I had this, and then I saw, I was playing Jace, and I saw him draw Stifle, and I was like,
Now, the one thing you're going to want to remember when you're playing this card is Disallow is in the set now,
oh,
too.
Oh,
right.
right, yeah.
Stifle
So you
is
can
in this
stifle
set.
it, yeah.
So it would suck.
Oh,
so
no!
you need to pay attention with what you're doing here.
Yeah, do
But-
not Ormondal when they have 2 double blue open.
Yeah. But
just
remember that is a signal, right?
Yeah.
Disallow needs that double blue. So when you're playing this, look at their
Don't Ormondal into double blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Unless you hand attack them first.
But again, it's against the mono blue matchup and stuff like that, or not mono blue, but a more control-y blue matchup. And I think this deck can deal with it. Like I mean, no one's going to counter your Weaponcraft Enthusiast, and that card by itself is a bread and butter of your deck that just puts things out, right?
Yeah,
So,
like I can imagine people like being like, Weaponcraft, you cast Weaponcraft Enthusiast, and they've got a counter spell clearly up, and they're like,
sure, like
oh, okay. And then you're like, get him.
Yeah, right. Like they just don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So just be careful of that. Don't don't goozle yourself onto that kind of a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, and that's the main of the deck.
Okay.
We do have a sideboard if we want to
Okay.
talk
Yeah.
about
I'm
that.
assuming like things like transgress the mind.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I made this one specifically with 3 decks in mind. There are obviously so many other ones out there, but you've got the Delirium, Black-Green Delirium, I think is really going to make a big comeback, especially...
Right. Well, I mean, like, they lost Emrakul, but
They gained Ballista.
yeah.
Yeah, like most recently, there was a standard open, I cannot remember where, and the top 3
Were
for that
green-black
were
Delirium?
green-black Delirium.
Okay.
So I am running 4 copies of Transgress the Mind. So if you're looking to deal with this, I would say something that you could probably maybe board out It's a tough one. I would say
Well, like
maybe
the-
something like Angel of Invention or whatnot can like
Yeah, because Angel is not going to get in past Ishkanah, which is
Yeah.
one of the payloads of the Green Black Delirium
So
deck.
yeah, so this is going to be your way of dealing with that, as well as one of the other decks I still think is still going to be prevalent, despite the Emrakul ban, is
Aetherworks Marvel?
Aetherworks Marvel.
Right, because they lost Emrakul, but
Ulamog.
Ulamog is still pretty good to hit off.
Right, so-
off Aetherworks Marvel.
Yeah, so so this will deal with that as well as just getting rid of someone's Aetherworks Marvel in hand, getting rid of Ishkanah in hand. This will deal with a lot of the big threats and whatnot that you might be a little bit afraid of. And then, like I said, in the sideboard, I've got 2 copies of To the Slaughter. This can kind of go up, I think, because one of the bigger strategies. This is going to deal with things like Dovin Bond, for example.
Really? Is he around now?
I think we're probably gonna now, like I said, now that Smuggler Copter is gone, I think Planeswalkers are really gonna make a return, and I think
because
will
he's
go.
like the grindy incremental advantage Zorius Planeswalker.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
probably like wants to hide behind Baral
Yeah.
on the ground.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you've got, I think white blue Flash and stuff like that is only going to get gross, more gross with things like Baral and Baral's expertise and whatnot. But I mean,
Oh yeah, Baral's expertise in that deck is probably like just such a tempo beating.
yeah, and
Although it does force you to play something at sorcery speed.
right, and the thing is, this deck does pretty well against Baral's expertise. I mean,
Yeah.
they can get rid of your servos or stuff like that, which sucks, I guess. But it's like bouncing 3 servos with Baral's expertise feels really crappy for them.
Especially when you sack them in response.
Right? Yeah, exactly, right? Or, they're like, okay, I'll bounce your Marionette Master or something like that, and you're like, okay, I'll replay it and get 3 more servos.
Yeah.
Like, this one is not scary as much for you. So I'm like, honestly, I don't know if the control match is going to be as horrifying for this deck.
I don't even know what the control deck looks like in this format right now.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming like Baral and Disallow are probably big components.
I think
of it.
from what I've seen, there are some spicy black-blue controls coming down the pipes. Like I said, this is we're kind of in interesting territory. Aether Revolt standard is going to be weird. I think it's going to be all over the place, but it's exciting. I got 2 more copies of Ruinous Path in there, just in case you want it. Like you can probably swap out if you want.
Grasp?
Maybe like Grasp of Darkness and just go for some more hardcore removal, because if you're going against a control strategy, they're probably not going to be putting out something that Grasp of Darkness is really going to hit that well. So just 2 copies instead of the Ruinous Path might be better for you. I've got 2 copies of Lost Legacy. This was a weird one.
Yeah, this is the one with the mosaic of Kieran
Yes.
as the artwork,
So
right?
this one hits non-land nard artifact non-land nard artifacts. But basically, you can name a card and it's stain the mind effectively, right? But instead, once you get rid of all those ones, they get to draw however many you got rid of, right? So it's rough. I'm not sure about this one. I will be completely honest. But again, this is kind of a nice way to deal with Ishkanah.
Yeah,
because it's a legendary creature, right? So they're probably not going to run 4 of.
Right. And they'll probably be doing things like, Green Instant. Put 3 in your graveyard, return 1.
Yeah, and
Green Brainstorm.
Yeah, but I mean, this thing can hit so many things. This thing, if you really want it, you can doom an Aetherworks Marvel deck.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, I guess non-artifact. Sorry. So you can't do, but you can get rid of all their Ulamog
Yeah.
or something like that. You know, and it exiles things, right? So this card can also kind of hose Delirium decks.
Yeah.
You know. So,
Yeah, like I mean, we didn't get graveyard hate, but there are some tools here,
Yeah.
like the extirpate effects or the. Is that what they're called? Extirpate. Generally, like the surgical extraction, kind of like.
surgical extraction, extirpate.
Yeah.
Again,
'Cause
like
extirpate, I don't know if it was the first one. It's from Time Spiral. It's just
Yeah.
like either name a card or like peek, and then you just blow away all copies of that card in all zones.
yeah. Again, like I don't know how I feel about it, but yeah, it could go anywhere. There's extirpate. That is some
That guy's
gnarly
having
art.
a bad day.
Yeah, I always love that the
face.
the split second cards with the
The little lightning bolt in the middle.
yeah.
Yeah.
before and after.
All right. I got two more cards to go
Okay,
through.
yeah.
We've got 3 copies of Hope of
Gyurper?
Gyurper.
No kidding.
Yeah. Here's your control hoser. I think it just fits into this deck nicely. I could have. There's an argument to just even play it in the main board,
Right.
Just because you can sack it to itself, and they can't cast non-creature spells on you, right? So, yeah, I think it's strong. Again, it's up to you if you want to put it in your main board or not. I think this card is going to be an unsung hero.
Okay.
Of the standard format, and again too, like they don't get to play their planeswalker this turn,
Right.
or that turn, or something like that. You know, it's got a lot of options, for
Right.
it.
Well,
and,
you can keep them off Liliana on turn 3 by just rumbling in with this guy on turn 2.
yeah, and
right? Like,
and this is also a really good way to proc Revolt on your opponent's turn,
Right.
and then now you've got a Fatal Push with Revolt trigger on their turn.
Yep.
So you can do a lot of things. Again, like this, there's so many ways to trigger Revolt even on your opponent's turn anyway. But this is just another way to do it. That can also give you a fun little extra thing too, where they can't
Yeah.
cast non-creature spells. And then finally, just 2 extra copies of Hidden Stockpile, just in case, like I
Yeah.
said, for those grindier matches. And that's the deck.
I like that a lot, dude. Like
Sleeve it up?
Yeah, sleeve it up.
Yeah, like
Are you
this
going to
seems-
take this to game day?
This is the hope to bring it to
Okay.
game day.
All right.
And I don't know if we want to talk about it more, or if we want to talk about the other idea that I had for it too.
I would love to hear about the degenerate combo. You
Yes. So
Yeah, what is this infinite combo?
there is a very strong case to, instead of just being Orzhov here, to go Abzan.
Okay.
Okay.
Main reason being is a little card called the Brood Monitor. So,
Right, yes.
So
yes,
this is
yes.
the Infinite Brood Monitor combo where you can bring out Brood Monitor. It's going to drop 3/1/1 Eldrazi Scions onto here, right?
Right. Oh,
And now
then
you
use them to
Eldrazi
activate-
displace it
Activate the Eldrazi displacer.
and just keep reoccurring it while you have a Zulaport Cutthroat on the field.
Right.
And so basically each activation you're draining them for 3, and you go boop 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 boop
Right.
all the way down.
Right. Yeah, and I also see the Abzan argument, including things like what is it, Crypt?
Cryptolith, right?
No. The Eldrazi that when something dies, you scry.
Oh,
one.
the Sifter.
Yeah, the Catacomb Sifter.
Catacomb Sifter. Yes, that and that's another one that you would want to consider if you were deciding to go on
And
the
then
Abzan
the
route.
1-drop green Eldrazi that when it dies, you get a Scion.
Yeah.
I want to say no, it's not Brood something.
The Blister
not,
Pod.
Not Blister Pod. Something Pod.
The 1-drop green that
Yeah.
drop. It is. I'm pretty sure
It's
it's Blister
Blister
Pod.
Pod.
Isn't Blister Pod the mortar living weapon?
No, that's Mortar Pod.
Mortar Pod. Blister. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying.
There you go.
That's
Blister
what I
Pod.
was saying.
There you go.
So yeah.
See, I was right. It's called Blister Pod.
So this is obviously an auto. I mean, one of the main ideas of Aristocrats and junk decks is stuff that always does stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like whether it be an ETB effect or whether it be an on-death effect, just something that synergizes. So yeah, if you're going Abzan, definitely you're going to want to put that in. Some other cards that you could probably also consider if you are going Abzan, Renegade Rallier.
Yeah. Returning something to the battlefield.
Yeah,
Mini Sun Titan.
Yeah, right. Like Renegade Rallier would feel really good on this. You know, the thing is like you'd have to kind of reconfigure it a little bit, because I think the only things that this would really hit would be, say, your blister pod or your trafficker. I think those are really the only 2 drops I've got kind of going on in here. Yeah, so like it doesn't have that, so you definitely have to retool it a little bit. That being said, killing your blister pod, reoccurring a blister pod still feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, either way, like it's some good value off of that. Other cards that you might just consider wanting to throw into this would be animation module.
Oh.
Now this kind of falls into the. I would probably put it into a sideboard, maybe as opposed to main board. But this, in conjunction with something like Marionette Master,
Right.
can be gross.
Yeah, because it means you get both modes effectively.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, like I mean, it gets counters. So really, yeah, like I mean, you could just put this in turn 1, and from now on, like all your fabricate stuff, if you wanted to, you could just fab the counters and get servos anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like you obviously have to pay a lot more for the card to do both.
But yeah, no, in a grindier match, I could see this really getting some value out of
Yeah,
it.
so animation module can be a good include on there.
Any thoughts on Thraben Inspector for being a body that also generates an artifact that can be sacrificed to like a Syndicate Trafficker, and also has its own sacrifice clause to activate Marionette Master?
Yeah,
Right?
Thraben
Like,
Inspector definitely.
like a clue that said, like if you had a card that said, 2 mana, draw a card, deal 4 damage to an opponent.
Yeah, either way, like I mean, the reason maybe that I didn't include it as much is I think the only one that really goes on sack artifacts per se is Trafficker.
Right.
And is it just artifacts for hidden stockpile?
Okay.
Hidden stockpile is creature, right?
Right.
So
But Marionette Master triggers off artifacts.
True,
Right?
right? So I mean, if you want to go deeper in on the Marionette Master strategy, Thraben Inspector would be a great include. Yeheni and the Hidden Stockpile kind of go in more on the like we can drain you, or we could also punch you in the face and,
Right.
smack you down kind of a strategy.
There's one other card that occurred to me, and this is definitely for a more, like, I don't know if this card is any good or not, but Pious Evangel,
Pious Evangel,
which is one of the transform cards from Shadows over Innistrad, and it flips into
Sack 3 vampire thingy.
No. It is a I want to say it's a 1/2 that you sacrifice a creature to it to transform it, and then it turns into another blood.
The Wayward
Yeah.
Disciple.
Yeah, Wayward Disciple.
Okay. Yeah.
It's expensive, it's slow, but it's another card that might fit into the strategy. I don't know about it though.
It can be, if anything, if you want to really go into on the drain strategy, it could be good, and it can also be a good include if you need to make it a little bit more budget.
Yeah.
For yourself too. It could go really either way. And then I just had 2 other thoughts on it. If you wanted to go on Absent and you wanted to just get gross real fast, Cryptolith Rite.
Yeah.
Make your mana, make it not just Servo's mana rocks for improvise, but make it mana rocks for everything.
Yeah.
Really, right? Like
Yeah.
Cryptolith Rite can be really good here. And then finally, maybe it could just go straight into the deck. Painful Truths. If you're doing an Abzan strat. If you're doing Orzhov, it's okay. But
Right.
Painful Truths can just be good if you need a little bit more in terms of card advantage.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the deck.
That's exciting. Let us know how you do.
Yeah, I'm excited to say. I haven't physically built this deck yet, but for anybody who's sort of wondering on the main what I built, according to TCG, you're looking at about $130
That's pretty reasonable.
for a standard deck, and I mean. Most of that is coming from things like the Herald of Anguish. The 2 copies will probably cost you about $35.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little bit from the land base.
Yeah, I assume Concealed Courtyards are probably like 15 or 10.
Yeah, and Shambling Vents is like 5 or 6 each or something like that. But again, like in the fact that we're not really running anything like Planeswalkers, there was an argument for me to run something like Sorin or even one of the lilies or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Or I guess there's just one lily now in standard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she recurs things from your graveyard, which might be useful.
Yeah, so like I said, there's so many ways you can go, but which is exciting because that means there's definitely a very ample playground for aristocrats.
Yeah, and then like as you mentioned, it's the other transform vampire from Eldritch Moon, the one where you sack 3 creatures to it to transform it into
pariah,
like a
yeah.
flying like I don't know 7/5 or something
Thing
like
that makes them sacrifice 3.
That could be a sweet card. I like that card a lot. I don't know if it's actually
Pariah?
Voldaran Pariah. That's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that card you can easily flip in this
Yeah.
deck too. It's so I mean, if you wanted to, I think that one actually might be cheap. There's a argument to run that instead of your Herald of Anguish if you wanted to.
Yeah. Although in order to really get this, I would want to have like self-discard outlets.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, getting Voldaran Pariah out
Off
at instant
Madnet,
speed.
yeah.
At instant speed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. If you haven't Voldaran Pariah at instant speed, you gotta
ain't lived.
Voldaran Pariah at instant speed. All right.
Yeah.
I think this is like our 4th time wrapping this up. Anyway,
Sorry.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much for joining us this week on Tap Tap Concede. Once again, we are brought to you by Card Kingdom at cardkingdom.com/LRR. That is our affiliate code. If you use that, they will know that we sent you, and you can put in the additional information field when you order through them. LoadingReadyRun sent me button please, and they will send you our current button, which reads Tight Plays, which is the name of all of our. That's our motto here. We do nothing but play tight. Tight list.
Yeah, that's
tight
us.
plays. Tight drafting. It's
Yep, tight like a burlap sack.
Let's
if
just
you
forget
aren't-
yesterday ever happened,
if
Cam.
you are not playing the game correctly, you should not be playing this game at all. Right? If you're not doing the optimal play at every juncture, you are no.
Also, the optimal play exists at all
Yeah,
times.
optimal plays exist, and you should be doing them. Never forget.
Anyway,
If
Oh
you,
God, we're so bad at this game, but we have so much fun.
if you end up running this deck, please, like tweet at me or something like that.
Yeah,
Let me know. I'm really curious to see how it goes on
Yeah.
kind of things.
Oh yeah, no, it's. Thank you for being on, Ben.
Yeah.
Having the standard perspective is so good. I actually really enjoy standard because it's a limited. Working with limited palettes is really a lot of fun.
But at the same time, it's growing now too, right? Because the standard format's so large now. Like we're still playing with cards from BFZ.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Yeah, we've got 6 sets.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cards.
And BFZ's not going to rotate out until Q4 of 2017, I think.
Wow.
Is the idea.
Right.
So,
Okay, and also this is brought to you by our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. So if you would consider supporting us there, it throws us a few extra dollars and helps us to bring you more content like this. So once again, I'm Cameron,
I'm Ben.
I'm Alex.
and we were pleased to be here today. And we'll see you in the future. Happy magicking. We hope you have the run goods.
Yeah, and good luck on game day too.
Cheers.
Bye.